Africa is home. And when I say Africa is home, I want to feel at home. I'm in my beautiful continent, and I really want just to be free wherever I find myself. Hello everyone, my name is Frida France. My YouTube channel is Frida Fly, and I'm from Namibia. Growing up, there is one thing I haven't been fine with. There is one thing that I noticed, and I've really just been observing, and now that I'm grown up, there's a point where I felt like we need to have this conversation. The issue of language and communication. Basic communication that I'm referring to. That's basic communication and the need to be understood or to be comprehended, especially when I'm trying to communicate something. And I'm driving to the point, to the angle that I am trying, and I'm not trying to be perfect or to be 100% correct. But I mean, basic communication. Okay, specifically in this video, I collected voices from all over Africa regions, north, south, east, west. We are all represented, and we are going to hear different cases of how people are sharing their experiences when it comes to matters of languages, and especially the barrier between the mother tongue and the other language that you are just forced to learn. We shouldn't judge each other, we shouldn't tear each other apart when it comes to languages that were brought to us, right?
Is Africa or Africa?
The situation is very different because start talking English here in Cameroon. Before that,
here in Cameroon?
Yes. Before that, practically we use Arabic. Documents from the government Arabic. Teaching from the primary school to the university Arabic. Everything is Arabic.
I can imagine the struggle, because
we need to promote also the multicultural system where we need to interact between different tribes, between different groups and ethnics.
People can laugh at me when just I mess up my Kinyarwanda, because Kinyarwanda is my first language.
As a Motswana, my first language is Setswana. I speak Kalanga. Then English language is just the language I met in school. And
it's like, should it really be funny? Should it really be funny when somebody is speaking an incorrect language or an incorrect English?
It's not my vernacular.
Exactly.
So if I commit errors in my mother tongue, I feel somehow that I am doing something wrong. But in English, the language that was brought to me, I am okay.
And you are.
But here in Africa, people, they feel like if you're not like them, then you are wrong. You can't be the same. You know, we come from different backgrounds.
We have a real problem because Africa is also very divided. What could be the cause of all this problem? I attribute and say that it is a factual thing, that it is language.
There are also some certain constraints we face as an African, which is really bad. And I don't think like it's a good idea, because as Africans we need to accept each other. We need to like embrace each other. Like you don't need to like take advantage of me because I don't speak your language.
That's a diverse community, because it's like seeing the Africans is Africa. So there are so many.
The moment you start speaking English, if you are buying something, the price is tripled.
When they laugh for me and I laugh for them.
Okay.
Accept each other as who we are, because we are from different cultural backgrounds, ethnic and clannic backgrounds. And different people have different ways of pronouncing words. Based on people, they are even in the university, they are doing masters, and yes, they can't pronounce these simple letters. For example, like the letter R. When actually it doesn't exist in other languages. The letter Z. For example, my colleague has said that it is non-existent in their language, and it is also the same case to me. It's not there.
Hi there once again. I'm with Francisco. He's from Mozambique and he's also contributing to the topic. Francisco, what do you think? Just, we are just having a conversation as Africans on the issue of languages that were brought to us. We all know the aftermath of colonization. So in our life, we are trying to communicate, but we find ourselves in situations where we are laughing at each other, we are judging each other, we are tearing each other apart. Do we really need to do that as Africans?
Yeah, I don't think it's something that we need to do, especially because, as you said, they are not our languages.
Yes, they are not ours.
So it's something that really happens in English and in Portuguese also. If you see then Mozambique, sometimes like where people from different regions and they pronounce things differently, even inside Mozambique. So you feel like scared. What's going on? So we have this kind of, I'll call it maybe a preconcept of how people should speak Portuguese and maybe English also. I faced the same situation in English, like people would find my pronunciation really strange because I come from a Portuguese speaking country. So I don't think we should judge ourselves based on languages and all those things.
Yes, because my issue is here. When someone like a foreigner come to our villages and then they try to speak our native languages, right? We don't laugh at them or we don't judge them. We say, wow, you're trying. But what if it's a fellow brother or sister? Oh,
yeah, of course.
We make fun of them sometimes, even on social media, we bully them.
Yeah.
And why do we do that?
No, I used to say, like, as Africans, we were well colonized. And we keep, like, treating each other in a different manner. So we don't respect each other, we don't accept each other. We keep trying to find reasons to disregard each other. So that's the issue. We should break all those things and start accepting each other as Africans.
Exactly. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Yeah, thank you, Frida.
Here with me is Patrick from East Africa, Burundi. So he's just adding his voice to the topic under discussion. So Patrick, what do you have to say on this issue?
Okay, first of all, let me say thank you for coming with this point, because what I need to say about language, the issue of language in Africa, this issue of language cannot be discussed without saying the meaning. Why do we need a language? We need a language because we need to communicate. We need a language because we need to promote our political system, education system. We need to promote also the multicultural system where we need to interact between different tribes, between different groups and ethnics.
Yes, we are diverse in Africa. Like they say, we are not homo, we are heterogeneous.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's what I want to mean about that. But we need to know that a language is used to communicate. Why do we need to communicate? Because we need to promote our culture, we need to promote different angles of development. So, and we can't ignore the origin of language that we are using officially in most of these African countries. We have this French, we have Portuguese, we have Spanish, we have French, English. Those languages were brought through colonization.
Through colonization?
Yes. And because of this colonization, those people who came to colonize Africa, they had their purpose, they had their project, they had their ambitions to achieve in Africa. So they couldn't achieve their ambitions and goals, whether political or economical, without coming with a system that can help them to try to promote their system through languages. So they came with these languages so that these people from Africa can speak their languages and be able to communicate with them in the area of promoting their objectives. So that's why. So now we have our languages that are considered like vernacular. Those languages are used just to exchange between small groups,
in our local villages
settings. And politicians don't consider our languages like those languages that can be promoted, be used at the national level,
or even in the global
communication. So then why we Africans are we supposed to understand the reason why we are supposed to promote our languages? Because we need also to promote our African culture. Because when you don't have a language, even your culture will disappear.
Yeah.
It will disappear. How are you going to communicate that? In Kikuyu's people in Kenya, they speak like uhowa when in the morning they want to greet you in the morning. How are you going to say habari zako in Swahili? How are you going to say Ubuntu to show you that you are coming from this part of Bantus? So these are the issues that we have in Africa. So if we can be capable to promote our languages and not to be looking at people when they are trying to express themselves in the foreign languages like French and English, criticize them, but be happy, be proud of who we are as Africans and what do we need to promote. So languages are the key factors that will help us to promote our own language and not to be hating each other, because now we are saying, oh, I'm a French speaking. How are you promoting French and you know that your mother, your mom there in the village can't speak that language?
And you know you can't go back to your village and speak that.
That's the issue. And if you go back in your village, you can't speak that. So you will be also training your kids to speak those foreign languages, which means that you are losing your image and your roots. So your roots there is this many scholars wrote about how can someone be capable or be able to express very well in a language. It is when you started with that language from the basic age there down, because from the age of, they say that from the age of 4 up to 15, someone can memorize very well all the things that you are saying. That's why we find that there is the difference between someone who started learning that language when he was or she was a kid, and that one who started from the age of 20.
Oh, there's a difference. There
is a difference, because when you start from the age of 20, it means that you can't be capable. You have many things in your mind. So you can't be capable to capture everything that people are saying. So we are not supposed to be laughing at each other. But if you are maybe in communication, you are there to master. Not only to communicate, but to master. If you are studying communication, that's good. Master it, because you've been talking about things of communication and whatever. But if you are not in communication, why are you supposed to be bothered? You are not supposed to be bothered by this issue of not speaking fluently French, English. It's not our language. Let's express ourselves in our languages. Let's be proud of whatever we are doing and the way Africa is. If you are not proud of Africa.
Okay, that was quite an interesting one. Thank you so much for your contribution.
Very much. I wish you the best.
Okay. I'm with my two brothers from, this is Bame Romeo, he's from Botswana, and this is Lawrence from Uganda. So we are talking about the issue of languages here, and they are going to contribute to the topic on why Africans, we shouldn't judge each other, we shouldn't tear each other apart when it comes to languages that were brought to us, right? So, what is your contribution? And Lawrence also. Let's talk.
Yeah, Frida, I like that you even started by saying languages which have been brought to us. Because, As a Motswana, my first language is Setswana. I speak Kalanga. Then English language is just the language I met in school. And I also believe that we shouldn't change our part. Maybe you pronounce some words differently, or maybe the way they are not supposed to be pronounced.
Because that one is shaped by, you know, where you come from, maybe the background, your education level, and you are trying just to interact with other Africans.
Yeah, that's true, because when interaction, it will open up your mind and you'll start viewing things differently. Because when I came here in Cameroon, I met my brother Lawrence the first day. I told him my name is Kwame Romeo. He couldn't pronounce the name Romeo. You see? But nowadays I'm just used to it. You know, I believe it is not something we can make fun of. So now, even if we are debating with other friends from Rwanda, I know that this is my friend from Rwanda, this is how he or she speaks. So it's not something I should judge or tear him apart because of. So, my friend Lawrence.
Oh, yes, thank you for your contribution about that. Because when I met you, actually, I didn't know that I had that problem personally. Before people tell you that you have a problem, you can't know, but when they laugh at you, then that's when you realize it, you know.
Yeah, but do you think they need to laugh at you?
No, they don't need, of course, to. Many times I've been with people hailing from different backgrounds, and they have a lot of way of speaking that you just get used to.
Get used to?
Yeah, just a matter of getting used to it and understand them, other than, just making fun of them. Because when you make fun of someone, they lose their confidence, first of all.
It's true.
Like for me, when I'm presenting, sometimes, let me be real to you, even in class when I'm presenting, like that time when I had a presentation about, I should participate in democracy in those countries or not. When I was talking, my confidence was somehow very low, because I mix up L and R, when I'm speaking. I don't know why, actually, but I don't know. I can talk sometimes words and I feel like maybe even people have not understood me. When I was in India, people took so long to understand me. Like when I call someone on phone, they cannot even understand what I'm speaking, but they don't laugh at you like that. But here in Africa, people, they feel like if you're not like them, then you are wrong. You can't be the same. We come from different backgrounds. We come from areas where people even are not educated and you just speak anyhow, So for me, I think this issue in Africa, even a language which is not ours, we shouldn't even feel proud of that.
Exactly.
We shouldn't feel proud
We
of that.
don't even learn Swahili, we don't even learn our own native languages,
That's true, because language is like now language is dividing us, especially here in Cameroon where they speak French. When you speak English, they'll give you some form of treatment, because maybe they think you are from the other part. But
I've seen that.
Yeah,
we are going through a lot actually, because we don't speak French. The moment you start speaking English, if you are buying something, the price is tripled. And we don't need to treat each other like this as Africans, know.
This issue of language, I think it can even cause people to lose even their confidence of learning.
Yes.
Imagine you have been learning something and you are totally discouraged because someone is laughing. Do mistakes that we learn.
Yes. So on this one, I believe we should lift each other up. Rather than lowering each other's confidence, we should really lift each other up.
Exactly.
And believe, and we all know that these languages, they are just borrowed languages, like everything else which is borrowed. So we should promote our own first before we judge each other.
Thank you guys for contributing. Thank you so much.
Good day, everyone. My name is Velisio. I am an Ashwamba speaking person from Namibia. Actually, the issue we are having at hand right now is the issue of laughing at each other when they have spoken an incorrect form of language, or when they have spoken an incorrect English. So let me just stick to English right now then. So there is a tendency of laughing at each other when we think, or when to us it seems that they have spoken an incorrect English, or their pronunciation is wrong. Actually, yes, it is wrong. That's how we understand it. So let me just say, when they are incorrect, when their pronunciation is wrong, then now to us it is funny. And that funniness that we bring in, then it is discourage the speaker or the person who is talking to us. Then they will be discouraged to communicate with us, or to express themselves. They will not continue speaking English because we are discouraging them. They look at themselves like they are not the right people, maybe, or they don't fit to talk to these people, or so it just brings some weirdness about how we should be, about how communication should be. Okay, so for the sake of this type of laughter or this type of funniness, let me just, so my question is just like, should it really be funny? Should it really be funny when somebody is speaking an incorrect language or an incorrect English? Or let me put it to you, is there really a correct English? Is there really a correct English? Okay, for the sake of that type of, or for the sake of laughing at each other now, is there really something like this one is correct and this one is not correct, and the incorrect one now is supposed to be funny? Is there really something like that? So let me just talk about how diversity language is. Let us talk about the English dialects or language dialects. Actually, what we have in language is different language dialects. As I said, I'm in Oshwambo speaking, and being in Oshwambo speaking is not that I speak Oshwambo exactly like this is Oshwambo, like my mother tongue is Oshwambo. No, Oshwambo language is not, there's no one Oshwambo language. There are many different different Oshwambo languages, which are Oshikwanyama, Ndonga, Kwambi, and others. So the languages which are within Oshwambo are Oshwambo dialects. They are Oshwambo dialects. And there is no a correct Oshwambo, like the Oshikwanyama are the only correct Oshwambo speaking people. No, like that's the real Oshwambo. There's no a real Oshwambo. All of the maybe 12 or 13 Oshwambo languages are all correct, and they are all right. There's no a funny Oshwambo language, like, or maybe you can say the Kwambi people or the Kwambi speaking people, because Kwambi is also an Oshwambo dialect. It doesn't need to be like the Kwambis are funny. No, you will not find them. You will not find anybody laughing because this one speak this Oshwambo and this one speak this Oshwambo. So now the question is, why do we laugh at each other when they speak a different English? Why do we laugh at each other, or why do we find it funny when they speak a different English? I'm not talking about when we are making just some jokes for the sake of jokes, because jokes do exist and it's normal to joke about some of those stuffs. But we are talking about serious laughing now. Like, you are laughing at a person and the person may not even communicate their ideas. So the same way we have different dialects in our languages, even English itself, when it comes to nations or when it comes to societies, the societies or different types of people, they form a dialect of English. Just the same way English came from the English land to America, and the American form an American English dialect, it is the same way English went to Nigeria, and Nigerians are now speaking a Nigerian English dialect, or a certain English dialect which is spoken in Nigeria, because it's not the same English the Americans speak, not the same English the English people speak, and it's not the same English the French people speak. So each language or languages develop dialects depends to their speakers. So looking at that now, how is that funny? How is that funny? Because people are speaking a language differently. Is that funny? Yet you know the purpose of languages is communication, and there's no a language which is superior than the other. All languages are just for communication. So why should we develop that kind of funness? We just need to reset we need to re-understand this type of thing. Like, why should you find it funny because somebody is pronouncing a word not the same way you pronounce it? As for example, it is used to be said when in different languages, like in Oshiwambo speaking, we don't have an R sound. We don't have an R sound. Let me not Oshiwambo speaking, but let me say in Oshkwanyama. Oshkwanyama is a language of Oshiwambo people, and in Oshkwanyama we don't have an R sound like race. Eh? Yeah, race like yeah. We don't have an R. So sometimes when the Kwanyama speaks, they might omit the R and replace it with R. Then they will say lace when they mean race. And then if somebody listens to, if another person listens to this particular person speaking lace instead of a race, then they may laugh at them, connoting that they are not, I don't know how to say this, but that putting other down, we all know that type of thing, I think. So we need to re-understand language and take it and understand that languages become different for as long as they are being spoken by different people. There's no way they will sound the same. And there's no a correct English. Like, this is the correct English. The correct English just depends in which context are you using. If you are using a formal language, a formal English, then that is a formal English is a language or English dialect. A formal English is an English dialect that is used by governments and in businesses. So that is just a dialect of English. And there is a dialect of English which they use in the street. There is a dialect of English which they use in French. And there is a dialect of English which we use in Namibia, like in the street now or in ordinary speaking. So why do you think it must be funny when a person speaks a dialect of English, a different dialect of English? Why should it be funny now? That's the question. So you can see there is a need for re-understanding the issues of language.
So here I have Mariama Kipidangi to say. She's from Sierra Leone, and she's also giving her views on what she thinks. What do you think when it comes to languages? Like, as an African interacting with other Africans, let's talk. When you make a mistake in English, should I laugh at you? Do you think I should laugh at you?
No, I don't think it's a good idea. Instead, as an African, like we need to like accept each other, and we need to like correct each other, especially when it comes to like language. Because as human, we migrate, we move from one place to the other. So I believe like when you're in a foreign country, and then of course it's a must, like we face difficulties in language when it comes to like speaking, because even here in Cameroon we are being discriminated when it comes to like speaking the French, because even like, let's say example, even like when you go to these business places, like you want to buy something, because you are not a francophone person, when it comes to like buying stuff from the shop or maybe even the local market, the sooner they know that, they realize that you are not an anglophone person, like quickly they switch out, like the price doubles. Yeah, the price doubles. And also there are also some certain constraints we face as an African, which is really bad, and I don't think like it's a good idea, because as Africans we need to accept each other, we need to like embrace each other. Like you don't need to like take advantage of me because
I don't speak your language. Of course, everyone is coming from like different regions.
The way you speak or you pronounce.
So it's really quite challenging here. So I think we need to like, my advice is that we need to like teach each other, embrace each other. Don't take my problem as your advantage because I don't speak your language.
Yeah, and we need to, we need to unite.
We
don't
need to
tear each other apart.
Yes, because at the end of the day, we only have one Africa.
Africa.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Hi there, I'm with my lady Malene from East Africa, Rwanda, and Mohammed from Egypt. He's representing North Africa. We are sharing our experiences. Guys, what do you have to say?
The situation is very different because I start talking English here in Cameroon. Before that,
here in Cameroon?
Yes. Before that, practically we use Arabic. Documents from the government Arabic. Teaching from the primary school to the university Arabic. Everything is Arabic.
I can imagine the struggle because you as a grown-up man this age, you just started speaking English this year. Wow, that's
and
serious.
For me, for us in North Africa, if you wanna speak English, you must pay. For me, I had my bachelor degree in English section, so I was paying like $500 every year. In the other hand, if I took it in Arabic, it's for free.
Why would you pay if you want to speak in English?
Because it's not our mother tongue. We don't use it.
Patriotism.
Most of we do love our language. Okay, and most of the resources we use for science, for even social science, it's available in Arabic. Okay.
For me, I think it's not a good thing because English and French are not my first language. People can laugh at me when just I mess up my Kinyarwanda because Kinyarwanda is my first language. Let me give you an example. In my language, we don't have those R and L. So we have L. When even I'm talking about any other language, differentiate from L and R is something else. I can mess up. I can say like pray as pray or pray whatever. Whether it is play from playing football or whether it is play from just worshiping a God. So sometimes and people will laugh at you. That is not my first language, and it is not even the language that I learned when I was young. So it is something that I learned because of communication and to fit in the community. So as Africans, we shouldn't laugh at each other. As long as my message is delivered, what are you laughing for? It's not my language, and people want me to fit and to speak it as if I'm a native speaker of English or French. That is a conversation too.
It is confusing ourselves.
We should understand each other and don't laugh at each other. So correcting someone is something good, but correct me without even hurting my feelings or bothering my emotion. This is my style.
Do you think English or French is a measure of intelligence? Like, you want someone to judge you according to language? Like, something that you learned even when you grow up already?
In North Africa, the situation is really different because we are not Anglophone or Francophone. We are Arab speakers, we are Arab native. So we don't use English or French. And for me, I was studying political science in English in Egypt, but they were teaching us in Arabic. We do love our language, Arabic. Okay, so I learned English when I came here to Cameroon. So to come and judge me because my accent or in my Arabic language we don't have B, we have only B. So you cannot come and tell me you said please, not please. I know I didn't say please, but it's accidentally because I don't use it in my mother tongue, the language which I use it since I was young.
When you say such, people should be able to understand you.
As long as you understand me, as long as you get my idea.
Exactly. I was shocked, actually. That's a lot of years. Both of them were also in the
English became a B.
I have seen a lot of foreigners from the West and from America who they try to speak Arabic, and once they speak Arabic in English accent. They don't speak Arabic like Arabic speaker. And
exposed to outside the way. In Africa, okay?
No, what I mean is he will never, even the Anglophone or even the English speaker, they will never speak Arabic like us. Why? Because it's our nature. You are learning, you are talking your mother tongue since you start talking. So then you start learning another language. So what will you do is you will just try to speak and to deliver your idea very well as much as you can.
And from that, is it the same when maybe a Westerners like mess up Arabic, or maybe he or she is trying to like make a mistake like the mistake we do in English? Is it considered on the same level, but we feel like it's normal for them to make a mistake?
Yeah, we feel like that. Even we feel proud once from England or from America speaking Arabic, we feel proud. Yeah, so that's the colonization. You feel proud because he is a Europe and he's speaking my language. But once you speak his language, he will feel nothing. He will feel like it's your responsibility to speak my language. So it's about colonization.
Because we feel like we need to create awareness among ourselves.
We need to enhance our identity. We need to be proud of our identity.
Exactly.
We need to be proud of our language, of our Africa.
Exactly. And we need to accept each other, to love one another, and all those sort of things. Thank you so much, guys, for contributing.
Thank you.
Bye.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. This is Macho Joseph from South Sudan. We are going to be discussing about language. So we want to hear a view about language generally.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mayor. I'm Macho Joseph from South Sudan. And I'm very thankful for this introduction. I would like to say that language is a very important factor because it eases communications and make people interact and put people together. Despite the fact that the languages that we use in Africa, they are based on our colonial masters, those who colonize Africa. But what can we do that can bring us together as a diverse community? Because it's like seeing that Africans is Africa. So there are so many. So why can't we use it in a way that it can bring us together, to let us interact, communicate, and find information, but not look into it like, because I can speak it well, like I'm an American, why not can we speak and ease our communication? I think I look into it in a way that let's just look at ourselves as African, but not look at ourselves like when we speak that I belong to this country, therefore I speak better than this. So I think it makes sense. So language is also a tool that unites people, and by doing that, it can bring us together. So
As Africans.
As Africans. Let's use our language as African. Thank you so much.
This is Makinde Mayowa Babatunde from Nigeria, speaking to you live from Soa in Cameroon and Yaoundé University. Mayowa, we are talking about language issues in Africa. We are facing complexities with things which are happening which are not united as Africans. Kindly share with us about this issue of language. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Makinde Mayowa from Nigeria. My perception about language, as we all know, it's a sign of identity for us as an African. I believe, coming towards this stage, we should have a common language that binds us together. And also, we have met several people from different parts of Africa. You know, people having different kind of intonation, the way they talk, and at times they tend to look at you from, maybe they haven't seen or heard about your kind of intonation. They just look at you like, excuse me, what are you saying? And you know, we've met people like people from the US and other places where we come down to listen to them and we don't really see them as being outcast. So I believe we should inculcate that mindset of seeing other people's languages as something unique about them, and we should embrace it. And also talking about regional integration, I believe language is also a useful tool that can combine us together and unify us as a continent. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm with Kelly Bolo. He's from Kenya and he's also contributing to the topic under discussion. So Kelly, you're just going to express yourself as an African. Tell us, what do you think?
Okay. Concerning language, we have a very big problem in Africa. Is Africa Africa, or Africa is in Africa again? We find that most of the time, because when you look at what is happening in most of the settings, we realize that even the Arabs have synchronized themselves, they go to Arabic things. We realize even the Francophone countries, they are going to France or Paris to discuss their issues. The Anglophone countries, they go to England to meet the High Highness, the Queen, to talk about their issues. We have a real problem because Africa is also very divided. What could be the cause of all this problem? I attribute and say that it is a factual thing, that it is a language. There's a sense in which some African languages are coming and combining themselves. For example, when I speak about Swahili, talk to my friend Naomi in Malawi, she knows Sima, which means Ugali also counts like that in Kenya. So when we realize that all those things are happening, there's a sense in which Swahili becomes more integrating in these African communities as countries. So when language is not taken into consideration, it becomes difficult for us to integrate. First thing on the keynote, we should know that language comprises meaning. Why must I go and embrace on other language? Saying a rice in tomato which is fried, I speak French fry. Is it making sense for me? Why should I just use my language? You find, for example, the environment where I am at now. A young child does not know even his mother tongue. He speaks French. As the child grows, he develops the French. So this means that we don't have the capacity to come and intervene for ourselves. We must put a stop to all these things in language of diversities, because they keep on dividing us and they keep on making us to have multidimensional functions which are not functioning. The truth is, we must be serious on what we are doing. Let us try and ensure that we have a language and we have capability to speak about our language in truth and in sensitivity areas, that we speak something that we are happy of, not just impressing ourselves with the foreign language, which is confusing us even more. Because definitely when I came in Cameroon, the French was not easy for me, but people were laughing because I could not understand myself. Why must you laugh at a foreign language when your fellow colleague is also speaking it? This is a definite point. We should embrace our diversity of our African languages, not from a foreign convocation and bringing different ideas. I say, let us learn our language and be objective on how we use our language. Let us be people who are self-driven with our languages for generations to come. There's a sense of Swahili coming to Rwanda. There's a sense of Swahili coming to Burundi. There's a sense of Swahili. Even some parts of South Africa are trying to develop it. Let us generalize and have a language that we can anticipate and we can put ourselves and understand ourselves for better regional integration within the African states. Let us avoid the issues of Africa being disunited in terms of language, because when we do that, it's not going to be easy. So, a luta continua. Let us keep on embracing our language. Stop the ideologies that come with foreign languages, for this will make us be a united Africa. Thank you.
Yes, hi there. I'm with Ushena. She's from Cameroon and she's also contributing to the topic why we Africans should not judge each other based on languages that were brought to us.
I'm a Cameroonian, precisely from the northwest region of Cameroon, and My mother tongue is Lamso.
Lamso.
Yeah, Lamso. To me, I don't think that people should mock at others or should laugh at what people pronounce the accent because it's ridiculous. It's a language that was brought to me. It's not my mother tongue. It's not my vernacular.
Exactly.
So if I commit errors in my mother tongue, I feel somehow that I'm doing something wrong. But in English, the language that was brought to me, I am okay.
And you are learning
every day. I learn every day. We do learn every day. So to me, I don't have a problem with that. So when somebody commit an error, I'll understand. Thinking of my own situation. Why? Because you know when you acquire your first language and another language is being introduced to you, there are some sounds that are found in your language, in your first language, that are not in that second language.
Can I give you an example?
Yeah. Even in my mother tongue, I still have those examples. For example, in my mother tongue, something like we have the U sound, O sound. Something like what, like phone, like what again? So since we pronounce word using the U sound, is my first language, and I have learned to know that I don't have to force those sounds into the next language, into the second language that I am acquiring. I can pronounce well. But if somebody from my village or somebody that I speak the same mother tongue with is saying phone, I am okay.
As long as you're getting the message.
Yeah, so far as the message is passed across, I am okay with the person. So when others are laughing, I am like, why should you laugh at that person?
Yes.
It's English, the person's first language. No, the person is learning. So if I am in that position to correct that person, I'll simply tell the person that this word is supposed to be pronounced this way, not the way you're doing it. So if I now come across somebody like you, this not from Cameroon, there are some accents that you will have depending on your first language. So I want to judge you.
Where I come from.
Yeah, and where you are from. Even like we the Anglophones in Cameroon, when you speak in French, some people will say, les Anglophones. Because they know that from your accent, you are an Anglophone. They don't correct you, they instead humiliate you in front of people. So French is not my language, and English is not my language. With my mother tongue, I am okay. When I commit errors, I feel ashamed. That how can I be born in a place where I grow up and I am pronouncing word that people can't understand what I am saying. Yeah, but in English, it's fine. So, it's okay.
Thank you so much, Ushena. And I hope people get that message.
And don't get humiliate people when you meet them for the first time and they bring in accent that you don't know. So far as the message comes across, then get it that way.
Please. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome, Frida.
So hi, we are with my brothers again. This is Rashka, he's from Somalia, and this is Suleiman, is from Ghana. So we are just talking about the issue of languages and how we accept each other as Africans. So
thank you, Frida. For me, I didn't meet for laughing like in the class or outside or social media. But if I talk my language, you don't have some word it's like Z. But I learned in English language, so my pronounce somehow is good, and I didn't met the people laughing for me for my way of pronouncing of English, and even but sometimes last month is I was learning for French language, but when I was learning French language, the people were loving me. Thank
but
you.
Is that good? Is it good to be laughed at? Do you feel confident, maybe in professional settings, like other Africans laughing at you?
No matter, just I was not feeling something because we didn't know. Just I was trying. Even when they laugh for me and I laugh for them.
Okay, for you, understand.
Thank you.
Okay. Wow, I think the concerns that you are raising is something that we need to look into. Because when you look at our African context, we Africans, we are from a heterogeneous society, and we need to understand our heterogeneous nature, and so as to be able to live and cordial with each other. Because just for somebody maybe pronouncing a particular word that does not, let me say, in a way, in line with how you wanted to be pronounced, does not mean the person is wrong. So at least we need to try to adjust and accept each other as who we are, because we are from different cultural backgrounds, ethnic and clannic backgrounds, and different people have different ways of pronouncing words based on how they are being brought up or based on how they are being trained. So for somebody to mention something, maybe in a way that does not seem to look like how you wanted to pronounce, does not mean the person is wrong. Because if I write 69, for instance, you standing at one side of the, let me see, at the other side you view it to be 99. Me standing at the other side will see it to be 69. So if you stand at the other side, when you pronounce as 99, I cannot judge you to be wrong, because that is how you see it. So we need to try to understand and accept each other, and not being victimizing each other based on our language or cultural background. I think so. It is a very crucial thing that we need to look into. Try to accept each other as we are, as Africans, and that will, I think that will enhance our peaceful coexistence as equal human beings.
We have Paul, is my brother from South Sudan, and he's also just giving his, his views on this.
Well, what my colleagues are raising here are really phenomenal that are all around the place, in the globe, in the whole world. You find people are getting the language that's unfamiliar, something they don't know. They don't know even the words that are, or the letters that are being used in that particular language. You find them struggling, of course. It's everyone. You will not find someone getting a new language and then they are so, they are to the point of getting everything right in terms of pronunciation. It's not like that. So I've seen people, of course, struggling to pronounce some letters, some words, and I've also seen people trying maybe to laugh at them, to feel like, wow, these people, they are even in the university, they are doing masters, and yet they can't pronounce these simple letters. For example, like the letter R, when actually it doesn't exist in other languages. The letter Z, for example, my colleague has said that it is non-existent in their language, and it is also the same case to me. It's not there. So the first time, the Z.
Wow.
So the first time I was getting exposed to this word, it was very hard. I struggled. It took me time until I could, now I can say it. I don't, maybe not even 100%, because it's not my language, and which is normal. The same people who has the same languages we are speaking, they will struggle with our mother tongues, of course. They want to get all the letters, all the words.
Yeah, I told you a story about my language. I'm from Namibia, right? From a region called Ohangwena. We have Kwanyama tribe, but in that tribe falls under a certain ethnicity, which is Obambo people. But in that, my Kwanyama language, there is no letter R. There is only Al. The whole language. So with English, sometimes I find myself struggling, and when I've been growing up, people laugh and it affects your confidence. And as I'm grown now and I'm interacting with other Africans, I'm trying to learn that. But it's not easy, because sometimes I just forgot or it slipped my mind. But I wouldn't want a fellow African to laugh at me.
Actually you are right. But the one thing I should tell you is to tell you, don't get discouraged, because after all, the same people are laughing at you. You'll find them struggling with other letters. So what we have to do, if we are in a professional context, at least we should try to refrain, not to laugh at the people. But maybe if we are just formally conversing, you can laugh for the sake of fun, but not that the person is stupid. No, and the same thing, that person should also feel the same. that people are laughing at them not because they're stupid, but just because it really sounds strange and funny. And you would even do the same, just maybe after some time later, when they even don't know other letters. So I feel like you should not be discouraged. These are things that you should always live with. We try to get used to being laughed at, and then we try to correct where it is possible. But if it is not, provided that your message is being passed, it's not a great deal. So that's what I have to tell my colleagues, to try to refrain so that their colleagues feel like they're confident, they can talk, they can come up with what they have, but not to laugh at them. Try actually to constrain, to suppress all that you are feeling. And thank you.
Do you have any other contribution?
I'll just go contrary to what my mother has said here. Even though it is actually important that you try to develop your self-confidence in order to, withstand pressure. You have to withstand pressure.
Zoom sometimes.
Yeah, you have to withstand pressure during, like, let me see, you are giving a talk, in a public speech or something like that. It is important that we try to actually control our self-confidence, like build our self-confidence, so that we can withstand all pressure. But in as much as we have to build our confidence with regards to this, but we need to bear in mind as Africans that we have our own languages. These ones are just imported languages that we inherited those from our colonial administrators.
Yes.
So we cannot impose those languages on ourselves. So that when somebody is unable to pronounce something, that may be how it should be. It doesn't mean that the person is stupid. We should not laugh at the person. So we should also try to control our manners. This is what we are just trying to change. We are just saying that maybe in an informal setting, you can just do as a joke, but professional wise, it is not good for somebody to see somebody pronounce something maybe not how it should be. Then you laugh at the person. That one can discourage the person, and it can give a bad image to you, we as Africans. So let's try to accept each other and know that we have our own languages. Yeah, I think that's what I have to say.
Okay, well, my brother Suleiman, I think I can agree with you to some extent, but when people are really mispronouncing some letters or some words from, let's say, English or French or other European languages, and then people start laughing at them, it's not because those languages don't belong to Africa. Just because maybe sometimes you find something which is not funny to other people funny, then you start laughing. Let's try to teach ourselves our own African languages. And then someone is mispronouncing a letter. Still people are going to what? To laugh at them. Not because this person doesn't know this European language. But sometimes you find people, someone is amused, they get laugh at something maybe you will not find funny. So sometimes, we have to understand them, And sometimes also we have to tell them, we have to discourage them not to do it. But when they do, we don't get offended to the point of not even doing what we were doing.
Yeah. I like that. Okay. I like that.
Okay, what you are saying, I do agree with that. It is better, like the point of correcting somebody, you don't correct somebody by laughing at the person or teasing the person.
Down.
Yeah, it is good that maybe at the appropriate time you can teach the person how to pronounce those words, but not to laugh at the person. That one can maybe cause discouragement. The person may become demoralized because we as human beings, we are from, as I said already, we are from diverse origins. And some people are brought up in an environment that their self-confidence is quite low. So when they are giving a speech and somebody laughs at them, they become demoralized and they become even confused. They cannot proceed with the speech. And in such cases, that will be a kind of disgrace for the person. So let's try to just understand each other. Then know that we are from different cultural backgrounds. And let's not laugh at people as a means of correcting them. But we should try to correct them at the appropriate time, not to laugh at them. And that's the view I have to share on this matter.
Okay, I appreciate you, my brothers. Thank you so much for your contributions.
Thank you guys for your contribution. Wow. This video you are watching, this video is being recorded on Yaoundé 2 campus. Among students are discussing the various languages in Africa, the impact of languages in Africa, that people shouldn't bully one another, for mispronunciation, or because John Brown is not speaking French fluently, or John Tom is not speaking English fluently, to bully the person, but rather to have a little tutorial for the person to learn how to pronounce these words. So this video is being brought to you by Solomani Omori, Frida France, Aburashi, and Carl Peter, the great philosopher from.
Wow, that was our voices. It's good that you listen to other Africans as well, and I don't wish to dilute their messages and what they said. So let me just conclude by saying thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for more related content. Thank you so much.